and indeed the international community have pledged to stand with us in solidarity. But winning the battle against terrorism means we have to do things differently. After all, the race for the future will never be won by going backwards or standing still. Winning means we must change our strategy in a manner that will prioritize the mobilization of maximum capacity to fight terrorism, while ensuring the safety and protection of local communities in the front line of the fight against terrorism. We are also improving cooperation and coordination with our neighbors and other international partners to add depth and muscle to our overall strategy. In our efforts at combating the activities of Boko Haram, the new government has sought and obtained the support of not only our neighbors, other international friends and partners. Regrettably, the blanket application of the DC law by the United States on the grounds of unproven allegations of human rights violations leveled against our forces has denied us access to appropriate strategic weapons to prosecute the war against the insurgents. In the face of abduction of innocent schoolgirls from their hotels, indiscriminate bombings of civilians in markets and places of worship, our forces have remained largely impotent because they do not possess the appropriate weapons and technology which we could have had the so-called human rights violations not been an obstacle. Unwittingly, and I dare say unintentionally, the application of the DC law amendment by the United States government has aided and abetted the Boko Haram terrorists in the prosecution of its extremist ideology and hate, the indiscriminate killings and maiming of civilians, in raping of women and girls, and in their other heinous crimes. I believe this is not the spirit of the DC laws. I know the American people cannot support any group engaged in these crimes. I therefore strongly appeal to both the executive arm and the United States Congress to examine how the United States government can provide us with far more substantial counter-terrorism assistance with minimal strings. The longer we delay, the deadlier the Boko Haram gets. At all events, we have rewritten the rules of engagement for protecting the rights of combatants and in particular safeguarding civilians in theaters of conflict. As we ramp up our efforts to defeat Boko Haram, we know that winning this battle sustainability will require that we expand economic opportunities and create jobs for our teeming young population. We must also improve the quality of governance, ensure that governments at all levels are responsive, inclusive, transparent, and accountable, and that public institutions deliver services in a timely and efficient manner. We must win and sustain the trust of the people we govern. Ladies and gentlemen, the fight against corruption is a full-time job that the federal government would carry with sustained results. I have always maintained zero tolerance for corruption. I am even more committed to fighting this number one enemy decisively because I am convinced, beyond any shadow of a doubt, that the much needed impetus for our country's survival is held back by corruption. I will not allow this to continue. Again, as with every action of the government that I did, it would be fair, just, and scrupulously follow due process and the rule of law as enshrined in our Constitution. I will lead by example to ensure the prudent management of Nigeria's resources. The government will plug the leakages that fuel corruption in Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that the future of Nigeria, indeed the future of Africa, lies in democratic governance, not only because it is the expression of the will of the people, but because democracy can help us build fair, just, and inclusive societies. Only in a democracy can Africa's numerous ethnic, cultural, and religious diversities find harmonious expression and the freedom and opportunities that come with it. The federal government is well aware that building a strong economy will help us build a prosperous, stable, and secure country, a nation where democracy will thrive, businesses will flourish, and where citizens can live and pursue their dreams with dignity and freedom under the protection of the law. I believe the United States can help the democratization process gain roots by investing in the expansion of our educational, health, and economic opportunities for the millions of our youth. Ladies and gentlemen, fixing Nigeria's problems, as formidable as they are, is the responsibility of Nigerians. The international community can only assist, but the hard work belongs to Nigerians and their government. I will, as president, lead from the front, but all Nigerians, including the opposition parties, civil society, business and religious leaders, public servants, labor unions, the youth and professional associations, all had important roles to play to get our country back on a sound economic footing. The political opposition must see itself as an integral part in ensuring development and good governance for the citizenry. Governance in a democracy is always a shared responsibility, a fact underscored by the current power configuration in Nigeria, in which the opposition parties not only have a strong representation in the National Assembly, but also control 14 out of the 36 states in our federal arrangement. In the United States, the Republicans are in fact in control of both houses of Congress. Ladies and gentlemen, let me end by restating here that despite our current challenges, Nigeria's commitment to good governance, anti-corruption, democracy, and security of lives and property remains firm. Similarly, I must reaffirm that despite the current challenges that we face domestically, we are ready and willing to face our duties to international peace, stability, security, and development as we have done in the past. We shall not shirk our international responsibilities and obligations. We shall do what is expected of us.